1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your beer.
Keep following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Oh, Carrie's in the chat, baby. She said she was waiting for you.
I need your body in ways that you don't understand, but I'm losing my patience. Cause we've been going over and over again. Girl, I just wanna take you home and get right into it. No, I gotta kiss it, baby, give it to me, lick it inside and out. You know that I just wanna make love. Want you to scream and shout. And baby,
shout out to that CB over there bubbling. Again, he has a new album allegedly coming November 11th. His 11th studio album that will contain 11 songs and is tentatively titled 1111. Really think that's a move for Chris. Let somebody edit your music down. What's up, Andy?
I agree with you. I wasn't a big fan of the 40-track albums, but I will say, like if you were hosting a party, a kickback,
you could just throw in Chris?
Absolutely. Like, it's probably the perfect albums to play just, in the background or whatnot. Because it did give off those vibes at least.
And I can understand that, but I also feel like there was a lot of redundancy in some of those. Like, oh, I wrote this for this song, but this could kind of go with this track too. Let's see what works. Maybe we'll do both and put a different verse on the end. You know what I mean? That is just sometimes the feeling that I get from some of his music. I just think that some of it should stay in the chamber and he would have a much tighter product to deliver.
What is his contract situation? Do you know?
He's independent, I believe.
Okay.
I don't think he's been with a major no major would let him put out albums with 40 songs like that. It wouldn't happen.
And see, the reason why I asked that question is because I feel like it could be maybe like a lazy way out, with a lot of hip hop artists, when it comes to like maybe that fourth or fifth album, which is like, the last couple of albums on their current contract, you could just kind of tell that they just compiled a lot of maybe B and C records that just didn't, make it to the first or second album. Like, I'm gonna give you this album. These are songs that just, didn't make the cut.
I'm gonna just toss that out there.
Absolutely.
See if it sticks. We need a filler track. Anyway, shout out to CB though. He's made it work. I guess his fans seem to like it, right? They will argue you down. He's the best. Okay. He's the best with a hard edit or something. A hard edit meaning of the music. Like, I'm not listening to 6 hours of 3 Chris Brown albums. Just can't do it. It's not going to work. But I appreciate you. So, Zendaya had a recent interview in Elle magazine that came out today. She's pretty private. The 26-year-old actress revealed the reason why she is, really close to her chest when it comes to details of her relationship in her private life. She said that she recognizes that she's a public figure and that, she can't control everything, but she does like to protect her relationships. She said she is no longer afraid to exist, and that's how she felt before. She said that parts of her life she knows will be public, but she's not a person that can live her life sort of in secret and in judgment. But she also says that she recognizes that she has control over what she chooses to share, meaning she doesn't have to involve you nosy people if she doesn't feel like it. I wholeheartedly agree. Listen, this is the thing. I think that sometimes you do have to protect your space in your relationship. Maybe not all the time, But I think that there are instances where it's okay to keep it private. Everybody doesn't need to know. And then as far as things like how often do you show the person on social media or what have you, that's something you got to work out with each other and come to terms about that and make an agreement and make sure that you're really, really okay with it. You can't follow up and double back like, but you didn't post me for Christmas. I was right there. You didn't post my house shoe. Whatever. Trent, what say you?
I think relationships should be private, and I think that my most successful relationships have been when no one knew about them. And happy Virgo season. Zendaya is very much a Virgo.
Okay.
So her answer for
Order.
yes, and secrecy and all that, it was very much indicative of a Virgo. Yes.
Indeed. Well, we still got the chat riled up. Mackie Samuels is coming for me. In the chat, he said, yes, Jill. It's legally the same for a high-income breadwinner wife to provide alimony for her former husband in order for him to maintain the lifestyle he had with her. That's equality. Well, I don't know if it's legally obligated because every state has different divorce rules. It's why some chicks come to California to have babies and to set their situations up because we have different, more lenient rules for child support. As far as divorce, we're a no-fault divorce state. So, someone can't get hit harder on the head if they cheated. That's not how it works here. Then you have a place like, I think it's North Carolina, South Carolina. Can't remember which one. One of them that you can definitely sue the adulterer.
Yes.
For marital alienation and things of that nature.
Yes.
So the rules only apply to where you are. Everybody can not necessarily make up their own rules. It is North Carolina.
Yes.
Okay. I knew it was one of them. So.
Fantasia. That's how we know about that.
Oh, she did get sued.
She got sued
right?
by Antoine's wife.
She did. I forgot about that. Well, listen, Mackie Samuels, more heat for me. Legal equality between men and women is also about fair divorce rights. A man that was cared for by a breadwinner wife should receive alimony in order to maintain the lifestyle he was accustomed to. Is alimony still about keeping that person in the lifestyle, or is it more about keeping the child in the lifestyle that they're accustomed to? I don't even know if either can, adequately use that sort of argument anymore. When I see those type of statements, it generally pertains to a child involved in some aspect of that. I'm not available to call in tonight. Well, okay. We'll keep checking in because we want to hear from you, Mackie, because you have some strong opinions. You need to call because we have a conversation to be had, and we will save that conversation for you.
Y'all are this is between y'all.
Yeah. Now, shout out to Mackie, keeping it lit in the chat. We appreciate you commenting and giving your opinion each and every time.
Mackie has been through something, and
I think so.
needs to share. Mackie, share your story.
Yeah, because we want to know what happened.
I'm nosy.
We want to know who did it, why, and what was the outcome.
Yes.
Because I know it's a story there.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel it.
See, my ex is watching, so I got to be quiet because my ex sent me a text message last week and told me to stop talking about them on the radio.
Ooh, okay. Y'all just getting hit over the head. I get no messages like that. We don't have those conversations. Probably because I don't enter into any commentary along those lines as well.
It slipped out. That was my bad.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Week. Well, Zendaya also discussed how social media has gotten into an uproar about her and her longtime fashion stylist, La Roche. Last year, there was a viral incident that happened with Law searching for his seat next to Zendaya when they were in Paris at Fashion Week. I believe it was at the Louis Vuitton show. And, you know, when it was something where Zendaya was front row, there wasn't a seat for Law. She kind of gestured to sit in the back, or someone else did. And Law was kind of like, oh, I'm not sitting there, and left. And people were like, he's being ungrateful. He thinks he's the star. It was all of these different things. And shortly after that, he made the announcement that he was retiring from the styling game. You know, it wasn't last year. It was actually in March. But according to her interview with Elle, Zendaya cleared it up, and she was just that they were late. And when it happened, you know, she immediately thought, I hope people don't try to create something out of this. And they did. But she said that Roach is involved in every fashion contract, everything I do. If I have an opportunity where he can come with me, he's going to be there with me. He's always been my creative director in a sense, and he continues to fill that role because it's more than just clothes on the carpet. It's much bigger than that. So Zendaya's like, y'all calm down. We're good. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you think that sometimes we have to be careful as talent when you incorporate people working with you and they receive the same benefits of your lifestyle? Do you think that it can go to some people's head? Do you think that there always should be a separation or some type of line that designates this is what happens for the actual talent and this is how we make this flow for below the line talent per se?
It's very tricky, and things just need to be clear and upfront. I like to have conversations that are I like to have difficult conversations up front and very clear. Like, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're not doing. This is what I prefer. Can we rock with this? Okay, good. Let's go.
So you think that was just a miscommunication moment, basically?
Yeah. I think everything can be talked out and sorted through if it's
worth it, if you're a good communicator.
Not even if you're, because most people aren't good communicators. But I think I honestly feel that way. Most people are not.
Do you really?
I honestly feel that most people are not good communicators.
How so?
And if they were, we wouldn't have as many problems as we do.
How so? Do you think people aren't good communicators, or is it that people aren't good listeners? Because I do think that there's a certain situation or case where you can see, like if you see two people trying to talk through a situation and you can tell that one person is just waiting to respond but not taking in. So do you think it's just that people don't know to articulate themselves, or that they're really not listening?
Well, it's just like what you said. It's levels to it. They don't listen. Some people are afraid to express their opinion and is afraid to speak, at all, or afraid to say anything. Other people, along the lines of fear, they don't want to be offensive, so they, mince their words, or go around in circles about what they really want to say. So there's levels to it, and all of it is, when we strip it down, is you are not a good communicator. Sometimes people shut down. They don't want to talk out of anger. So many things. You're not an efficient communicator.
Okay. No, not me.
No, not you.
No, I'm just playing. I know. I'm just
come
playing.
on, Jill.
When we come forward, we will get into these retrogrades this season. Might be affecting some of your communication. You never know.
It affects all communication.
We're going to talk about that. And we're going to get into our Tubi movie review, All I Want Is You. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. All of that and more. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
To my hometown, my community. Some of you have known me my whole life. Do you notice anything different about the kids in the neighborhood? Ever paid attention? We might start with gifts, money, attention. These are signs. Child trafficking is happening right here in this town. So don't just watch through the window. Pay attention. Because the more we know, the more we'll all know to say no. Learn the signs to look for and how to help at no-to-say-no.com.
Are you looking to steer your career in a new direction? Driving for the Culver City Bus can be your ticket to a long-lasting career with excellent benefits and paid training. Culver City Bus is looking for customer service and safety-minded bus operators to join the growing team. Culver City Bus offers on-the-job paid training, uniform allowance, and health benefits. Culver City Bus are now even putting their money in your pocket with a one-time $2,500 sign-on bonus. Let us connect you with an essential service job. If you enjoy driving, seek real opportunities for career advancement, and passionate about making a difference in your community, then we invite you to join the team. Start your journey by submitting an application at culvercity.org/job. For more information, visit culvercitybus.com or call the live customer service operator at 310-253-6500. Again, 350-253-6500.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action is the youth component of the impactful CBO, known as the Community Coalition. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action has chapters at almost every South LA high school. Say Yeah, as they are popularly known, is located at 80th and Vermont, but serves young people all over South LA. Under the COCO umbrella, they train youth organizers, help underserved scholars prepare for college, and work with students to help them gain admission to top universities. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action fosters teen activism, where young people have led campaigns moving tens of millions of dollars to South LA schools and forcing officials to make AP classes available to students in under-resourced institutions. SCES scholars have taken part in the March on Washington, been published in major news outlets, and been elected to city council. Long before she was mayor, Karen Bass started the program when she founded the Community Coalition. To donate, volunteer, or enroll a student in South Central Youth Empowered Through Action, please visit cocsouthla.org. cocsouthla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. As a reminder, the YouTube chat is always lit. It's a lot of conversation happening in there, even on topics that we are no longer on, but they're still continuing on it. I'm just kidding. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all for that. I love that you guys are interested and relevant, and that you have opinions that you want to share, because it's going down in there. It really is. Mackie Samuels.
I just got it. Kevin Samuels, Mackie Samuels. That's the connection.
Oh.
The high value women. Come on. I just got it. Come on.
You thinking that?
Yeah.
But I mean, because I always joke and talk about high value men. I always make it a point to bring that up too.
I just got it.
But you might be right. Mackie Samuels, are you Kevin Samuels light? Is that your thing? Is that your inspiration? Or did you go through a really bad breakup and right now you are the president of the He-Man Woman Haters Club?
Wait a minute. Come on.
Come on, little rascal.
Come on, I'm not gonna let you guys start, with the man hate tonight.
I'm just saying, I just want to know. Mackie Samuels just asked Urban Spencer, do you believe that modern high-value women use their career or business, their high incomes and accomplishments to attract men? I'm going to go with absolutely not. I know you didn't ask me. You sent that to Urban Spencer. Her response is, I don't want a homosexual. I wholeheartedly feel you on that. But let me tell you why I don't think women utilize that. It doesn't work. Men do not, and maybe you did, I don't know. But in general, what I have found is that men do not care about that stuff. That is not what they are looking to big up a woman for. Now, to Urban Spencer's point, maybe if they are in a downtime, a time of transition, they need a little help. They, need to put in that work to have a roof over their head or a bed to sleep in, then they're on their homosexual train, perhaps. And then those things might be a little bit more important. But generally, I feel like men, especially if you're referring to high-value men, that these high-value women are seeking, it's not about, oh, let me throw my job title out, because most of these guys don't care. Do you think the Instagram models, did Black China have an impressive job title? Not really. Right? Did April Jones have an impressive job title? No. She's just super pretty. So, well, let me take that back. She was an X-ray tech at one point in time. However, I don't think that Omari Omarion, I hope you guys got that joke from earlier, was going around like, my girl's an X-ray tech. I don't think that it holds the same type of weight. Andy, you look like you have a comment.
I mean, I think you're, hitting the nail on the head with regards to men. We do not care what your job status is. We don't care about that at all. My friend always jokes that Jay-Z can go to McDonald's, right? Beyonce could be behind the counter, and Jay-Z would still want to get at Beyonce.
Absolutely.
Switch those roles. Beyonce comes into McDonald's. Jay-Z is behind the counter. Jay-Z is not even an option.
No.
But I will say that there are some men that would date a quote-unquote high-value woman simply just to hustle.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. But they're not looking at it like, oh, yeah, I got to date her because of this. You know what I'm saying? If you're attractive, you could be a chick on Fig. You know what I'm saying? You're probably going to get hollered at. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, I agree with you with that. Mackie says that he has no bad relationships to speak of. He's not related to Kevin Samuels. We kind of figured that you weren't. We were joking about that. We were just trying to figure out if your name was inspired by Kevin Samuels, not that you were actually related. And we also, listen, he's bringing up Stedman. Stedman had a career before he met Oprah. And Stedman has never been a house husband. There's a difference.
Stedman is at a hotel room right now preparing for his speaking engagement in the morning because he makes that guap on so many speaking arrangements.
So, I mean, I think it's a little bit different. Mackie's still coming for me. Jill, modern men do, in fact, want to date and are attracted to smart and highly accomplished women. I never said that they weren't. I said that is not a deterrent from a man approaching a woman, and it's not exactly necessarily an enhancer. Do you know what I'm saying? When we talk about these high value men, and we can throw out the names, we can throw out some of the careers, right? Especially, let's be honest, a lot of times when we're having that conversation in general, just in the public discourse, we're utilizing it, relating that to athletes and entertainers, right? A lot of those men don't necessarily have a mate on their arm that is as accomplished as they are. I didn't say they weren't accomplished at all, but they're definitely not like, I got to step up and be my power couple all the time. I'm not saying that men don't desire that. I'm not saying that they don't want it. But what I do believe is past a certain income level doesn't become as important. The higher you go, at least for men, I'm saying from men to women, they don't care as much for it being a talking point, a benefit. They might care because of the conversation that they can have with each other, the type of lifestyle things, but I don't think that a lot of men aren't like, yeah, I would kick Beyonce out of bed if she had a job at Forever 21 at 25. Yeah, it's just not happening. Mackie Samuels, Jill, airheads are not winning with intelligent modern men. Who said anything about an airhead? And why does it have to be that if I am discussing the physical attributes of a woman that might be sought out from a male that doesn't necessarily need a financial up from his woman or things of that nature, does she have to be an airhead? Nobody said that. No one said that at all. Oh, he's going in. Yes, a smart, high-income sister with an MBA from UCLA is attractive. Who said she wasn't? Where are we getting that it's not attractive? No one said it's not attractive. We said it's not a requirement. I don't see these men when they're talking about $200 dates and what they won't do. They're not saying, but if she has a JD from USC, she got that.
We don't care about none of that stuff. If you fine, we smashing. JD or not.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying? Projects or whatever, the Hollywood Hills. We smashing. We don't care about none of that stuff.
And they gonna make it do what it do. I'm not saying that it's completely irrelevant. I'm just saying it's not at the top of the list. And I honestly, unless, like I said, the man was going through, difficult times financially, maybe in transition, I don't see a great deal of men like, Man, she only a receptionist. I got to bypass. It's not happening. Trent?
I don't have a dog in this race.
It's not about having a dog. You could have an opinion, though.
You know what?
You have female friends.
Yeah, and
you have guy friends.
I do, and I hear this. I hear a different conversation all the time, and there's this big disconnect between men and women, and I want people to be happy in relationships, and I'm really trying to get to the bottom of why people aren't communicating and why they aren't in relationships. And I don't really think it has anything to do with how much people are making, and this is all it's dumb to me. I think
Okay.
At the bottom line, people, like I said a second ago, they do not communicate. People don't have difficult conversations. They're not being open and expressive about what they want, what they desire, what they need, and all these things. And this is what we get, a mess and all this other stuff that doesn't really matter.
So let me give you
it's
an
a
example.
waste.
To your point, I feel I effectively communicated my message. I feel I set it up. I did not say that men were not concerned with the career choices of women. I did not say that men do not want smart listening to me.
I think Carrie just added another layer to the conversation, and she says that I think Mackie is flirting with you, Jill, and she gives him an instruction just to slide in your DMs already and shoot the shot. Jill, you've been getting that a lot lately. I think a lot of guys, they come here and they get you riled up just as a way to flirt. Yeah,
I think that
because they can't crack you. I think they're trying to crack you, and they're trying to figure you out. They've been doing it for 60 days, and they haven't come to a conclusion. So now they've got to start drama, and this is the way.
They're trying to see what buttons they can push.
It's just like elementary school when the kids get mad at you and they start fights and they don't like you just because they think
pull
you're
your
cute.
ponytails.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be that, trying to see what gets me going. What's provocative and gets the people going. I like to have fun with the topics, but here's the thing. Let me say this.
Just like the movie, All He Wants Is You.
Who?
This guy, Mackie.
What are you talking about? Look, Trent, what I will say is I don't care about any of that stuff.
Mackie just said that he is in a relationship.
Shout out to you. Yay.
You know what?
Listen, I want to. What's your girl like? Does she work? Is she the higher income earner in the relationship? Do you guys live together? I'm just curious. You could keep it in the tuck for the next time.
And I think that Mackie, he's at work right now. That's why he can't call in and talk.
And shout out to Mackie. Thank you. He said I'm smart and I'm pretty, but he's already spoken for. You don't know if I'm spoken for. You don't know what I got going on over here because I ain't never said.
This is true.
And, we keep that conversation rolling.
Rolling, yes.
So, when we come forward, we will get into the retrograde season because obviously it's taking effect. It's taking hold. We're going to break down a little bit of that for you guys and let you know what's happening with that. We are also going to get into our Tubi movie review for All I Want Is You. Shout out to Urban Spinster. I believe she gave us this referral. So we're going to get into that. News and sports is up next. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
You fine, baby. And it's alright 'cause you're all mine, baby. Ooh, girl, I'ma let you get crazy. Hey, you got without a tied up skirt. Get that in the bed, I'ma lock the door. Shake that like boom, chakalaka, boom, chakalaka. We don't need nobody watching us. No eyes but your eyes. Ain't nobody here but you and me. Licking your private parts. And I know you love your pride.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Rudy Giuliani says he's honored to be tied to the case in Georgia regarding the 2020 election. The former New York City mayor and Trump lawyer called the racketeering charges an attack on not only him and the former president.
This is an attack on the American people. If this could happen to me, who is probably the most prolific prosecutor, maybe in American history, it can happen to you.
Giuliani says he's being charged for doing his job as a lawyer. He made his statement after being booked at Fulton County Jail in Atlanta, Georgia, and released on $150,000 bond. Sales of pre-owned homes fell to their lowest level in 6 months in July. The National Association of Realtors says existing home sales slowed 2.2% to an annual rate of about 4 million units. The group's chief economist cites the lack of available housing and higher mortgage rates for keeping buyers on the sidelines. And that's the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Come to Dodger Stadium and cheer on CT3 on August 29th when the Diamondbacks visit. Be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance to receive a Chris Taylor bobblehead presented by Spectrum. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black.
Follow the leader.
Following the leader.
Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talent, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried New Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency. All over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Don't wake me, I'm dreaming. Don't wake me, I'm dreaming.
Oh! Come on, early New Jack. And by New Jack, I mean the music. Although, was this on the soundtrack?
Yes.
Okay. Come on, Christopher Williams, MCA, Giant Records. I know these things.
If I'm dreaming, then just let me sleep. Don't wake me up, 'cause all my dream is complete.
You are rocking out to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. You're not dreaming. You are wide awake, locked in with the crew here on RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm not alone, of course. I'm joined by Trent the artist, Trent Jackson. You know, we've been talking about little things in reference to relationships and boundaries and lines and habitual line steppers and what counts and all of these different things. You know, hopefully tomorrow, maybe next Wednesday. I would prefer next Wednesday, but anytime, so that Trent the artist is here. Mackie Samuels will call in because super opinionated. Like I said, they're still going in the chat. But we're going to get on this astrology topic. So right now, where we are, there are a lot of retrogrades happening. Yes. Today is the first day of Mercury retrograde. We'll get into that. There is also, I think, at least 5 or 6 other planets that are currently retrograding as far as astrology goes. So basically, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. Which is it? Uranus.
Yes.
Okay. I think that, well, never mind. That's a conversation for another day. A joke. Why I always say that. Anyway, Neptune and Pluto will all make their transits where they appear to be moving backwards through the sky, over the next few months. Really quick, I'll run down what the dates are for them, and then we'll get into, what retrogrades are, in theory, doing, what's happening to you and your environment when these are taking place. So Venus retrograde started July 23rd, so we're in the thick of it. It's almost over. It wraps up September 4th. Of course, Venus involves your love life,
and your
aesthetic.
Yes.
All of that. Mercury in retrograde, Mercury began retrograde today. It ends September 16th, according to this. Pluto went into retrograde in May 11th through October 22nd. And it is the last of our lifetime that we'll see this. I think it's retrograding in Capricorn. Believe that's correct. And then Neptune began its retrograde July 1st. It will come forward December 6th. And Saturn began its retrograde June 18th. And it will return to its normal trek November 4th. So a retrograde describes basically the appearance of a planet moving backwards in the sky. The planets don't literally move backwards like ancient astrologers believed, but this is what it looks like, and in theory, they're linked to many significant occurrences that happen here on Earth based off of what's going on with the stars, right? So retrogrades are typically associated with challenges, and they're a time period where we review or take stock of our beliefs, habits, and circumstances. So let's start with Venus. Again, already in motion. It ends on the 4th, the day before Jupiter is set to begin its. So in theory, we'll have 7 planets in retrograde, but not really, because they're a day within each other. But Venus in retrograde is happening in Leo, which governs our vitality, how we feel about self. Leo is the sun. And Venus is obviously the planet of love and beauty. So you may cross paths with an ex,
Definitely will. A lot of exes will come back during this time, retrograde time.
You might have got a random DM from an ex.
Yep.
caught them looking at your story, looking at your TikTok, something. I don't know. Those are the type of things that happen when Venus enters in retrograde. Or you might just be having a bad hair month, or your look isn't coming together, because it does impact those areas. You know, you're not supposed to cut your hair or do things like that during a Venus retrograde. What you should do, though, is you're supposed to reconnect with things that bring you joy. Consider how you express yourself and your identity, right? Dig more into your creative aspect and indulge in self-care. So those are some things that you need to take heed of for this time period. Alternatively, what you shouldn't do is get an impulsive haircut, end up with some messed up hair, or make big impulsive purchases. Don't spend too much money. The signs that are supposedly most affected by the Venus retrograde this time around: Taurus, Libra, Leo, and Aquarius. All right. Mercury retrogrades usually happen about 3 or 4 times a year. Those are the ones we're most familiar with. You see a lot of jokes, especially if you're on the social medias. Sometimes they call it Mercury and Gatorade. People, make mention of electronics going haywire, having to take your time with things because information can get screwed up. Travel, all of those things tend to happen when Mercury is in retrograde. This retrograde is happening in the sign of Virgo. Virgo is the sign of order. It is very meticulous.
Mercury also rules Virgo as well.
Does it?
It does.
Okay.
Yep.
So, Virgos are known for being very detail-oriented, orderly, precise. And therefore, this retrograde is going to have you checking your list and checking it twice. Not to find out who's naughty or nice, though. We'll get on that later. But just basically to review your routines, your habits, your chores, and so forth, to make sure that you are on point, keeping things together, keeping things up, that so that you can not get lost in the sauce, not, get too far in the weeds with things. It also is suggesting that you refine your communication approach, something that we've been talking about a lot tonight. Review your plans. Embrace being meticulous in all aspects of your life so that you don't miss things, so that things don't slip through the cracks. And it said that you should avoid long-winded and elaborate communications. That includes emails and texts, and back up your work. Pluto in retrograde basically has to do with your celestial invitation to reclaim your personal power and prioritize purpose-driven actions. So basically, get your stuff together, get organized, get a plan together, put it down, reflect on your inner strength, release what no longer serves you. I think that is pretty important. Make sure you get that together. Saturn's retrograde, this one happens about once a year. It's bad news for people who are having their Saturn return right now. The retrograde is in Pisces, so that means it's calling for a spiritual review, inner healing, and letting go of limiting beliefs and empowering yourself to commit to your rituals and self-care practices. So practice self-compassion, connect with your intuition, and pursue spiritual practices. Don't give in to the temptation to escape reality completely. So don't get lost in your daydreams. Don't do too many things that take you out of your normal realm. Stay focused. Neptune in retrograde wants you to practice mindfulness, engage in creative pursuits, and develop self-trust. So believe in yourself, more connecting to your spirituality and your intuition. Refine it, hone in on it, get it together, right? All of this is happening at once. So it's a lot to focus on. A lot. But, review it. Get ready for last quarter. When we come forward, we'll explain to you what Jupiter in retrograde is, and we'll get into our review of All I Want Is You on Tubi. All that and more, you're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with autosave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Dominique DePrima. We can all fall into the trap of mindlessly spending sometimes. I know I do it. But one tip for staying on track is when you have an impromptu purchase that comes up, try making a habit of taking a quick look at your bank account balance before you buy it. It's not just about seeing how much you have in your checking account. Just looking at your account might put the urge to make that impulse purchase into perspective and help you make better choices that'll benefit you for the long term. Whatever your financial goals, U.S. Bank Access Commitment Initiatives can help support you in reaching them. Access your financial goals at usbank.com/access. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You are locked in with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. RSVP is the show. So for our final segment in the after hours, well, first I have to tell you what Jupiter retrograde means. It's taking us up to the new year, right? And so what you need to do with this is to get prepared. It makes sense that it is going through the new year because they want you to reflect on your values and align them with your goals. So set some goals and get to work. Maybe just one small thing, but take that step so that when you get to the end of the year, you'll look back and say, gee, look how far I came. Gee, if I never started, I wouldn't be here. Encourage yourself. Make plans. When you make plans for yourself, you're more likely to stick to them because you're putting them in motion. And that's it on that. Now let's talk about this Tubi movie, All I Want Is You, starring Claudia Jordan. Was this a Detroit one or a Dallas one?
It was an Atlanta one.
It was in Atlanta, okay.
Yes, that was an Atlanta skyscape that opened it up.
I wasn't sure because, sometimes, what is it? What is the film called stock footage?
Oh, yeah.
Could have been stock footage.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. Was this one based on a true story too?
Not really sure. I didn't see that disclaimer anywhere.
I didn't see it either, but sometimes I miss it.
Yeah.
So basically, Claudia's character, Chloe, was in jail, and this young gentleman comes to visit her. I didn't catch why. I missed that.
He was a journalist / film producer and or writer or something, a very notable film author or something like that. And he came to the jail to interview her to get her story because she did not want to tell her story unless he got it to turn it into a movie for TV.
For TV.
Yes.
I saw that part. So that's why I was like, is this real? Like,
Yeah.
I know that it was written, directed, and executive produced by someone named Silk something. And
Silk
they,
White, I think.
Yeah, and they showed his book in jail. I was
And
like,
yeah,
is that Silk?
I was like, that is
I was
good,
like, okay, product
good,
placement.
Good product placement. I love that. Yes.
I was like, and I recognize your name because I just saw it in the credits. So there you go. And so basically, Claudia's character has been waiting for 4 years for her man to get out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
He gets out of jail, and he is paired with this very overly stern, involved PO officer. She's a woman. While all of this is going on, her girlfriend is dating a very controlling guy who is abusive.
Yes, my king.
Yeah, that was a lot. Was that Ra Ali?
I don't know, but it was annoying me. It was wearing me thin.
The pauses in her, listen, I know sometimes I take interesting pauses for effect in my conversation, but her pauses with acting, I guess that's a Tubi thing, right? That's what makes it charming. Because those were some different kind of performances.
Yes, it was that whole movie. I was like waiting for it to pick up.
Me too. I was like, when is something gonna happen?
I was like, what is?
And how is this like? Yes. And what is connected? Why do I care that the friend is getting? I thought because it indicated that a woman gets in between Claudia's character, and her man's relationship. I thought it was going to be Sophie, the friend.
Yes.
I thought she was going to see her being treated with some compassion and some sweetness. And she girl, I let you stay in my house.
Walking around in some biker shorts and something like that.
I thought that's where we were going. That was not where we were going.
Baby, when that switch finally hit and that thing started popping, that action, I was like, oh, this is kind of crazy. This is crazy.
Listen, I was not surprised, though. I knew the PO was going to end up wanting the guy or whatever. But for me, I felt like the film just started. I'm like, well, we know why he was in jail. Snow. He, held it down for somebody. But I still felt like I was missing part of the story.
It started off very much like a Caucasian movie, very slow and boring. Like, come on, let's get to the drama. And just as we're getting to the drama, we got to go to part 2 because it cuts off.
Right.
So you have to watch part 2.
Yeah, I was upset about that. I was like, oh, that's why it's only an hour and a half or an hour and 20 minutes.
I like the fact that it was an hour and 11 minutes. They could have got more done in that time period.
I agree. And I know that is why there's a part 2, but I don't know if I want to spend
another 30 minutes watching part 2.
Exactly. I didn't feel anything for the characters where I really care where this ends up.
Oh, I want to know what happens when she walked into the office and said, surprise, B. I need to know what happened after that. So when I leave here in about 15 minutes, I'm going home to watch that and All the Queen's Men.
I'm going to tell you what I think happens.
Well, we know what happened because she ends up in jail.
Yeah. So,
but I want to know how she did it.
And
what she did and where the husband is at. Is he at home with the chick or is he still with the PO?
Listen, you think he got with the PO?
I don't know. That's why I got to go home and watch part 2, Urban Spinster.
Listen, and
she said we're gonna be mad.
We gonna be mad.
Well, why are you recommending if we gonna be mad?
So, Urban Spinster, you have been one of our most consistent.
Yes.
Putting us out there, putting us up on game with Tubi movies. So
I have a question, Urban Spinster, really quickly. Why can't we comment back to you on Instagram? Can we be Instagram friends?
Right.
Can we do that?
Making suggestions. We can't even respond.
Even respond. It's like, oh, and I don't want to slide in her DMs and get ignored because can we just be friends? Can we just follow each other on Instagram?
I can't even send her a DM. It was like, nope.
It was like, no, she access restricted on all y'all. Listen.
She's like, shut it down.
Don't even start.
Well, Urban Spinsters, send us another recommendation. We do have a list that we have going somewhere. I didn't bring it today, but
there was a movie that I saw that I wanted to watch. I'll send you the title of it so we can parlay it for next week. But it's kind of like it's like a thriller. It's about a girl and her parents die or something, and then all of her friends start dying one by one, and they're all in college. So she leaves, and she wants to go home for the weekend or some drama. It'll look very intriguing. I'll look at it when I get home and find it and see if we want to watch it for next week.
Well, we got the Tubi for you, Tubi movie reviews every Wednesday. So right now, I'm going to have to give All I Want Is You a popcorn box. Like, maybe y'all into that, but a popcorn box.
Forensic accountant, Jessica. I love that story. It is so hilarious. It was worth 2 popcorn boxes for me.
Forensic accountant, is that story about Claudia?
It is.
I don't receive that story. I don't see that.
I do.
I don't.
I'm
Shout out to Claudia. That's my girl. I don't
love
see that
it.
story.
Mm-hmm.
So when we return next week, we will have another Tubi movie. As always, of course, we're going to hit these trending topics and headlines. Trent the artist, remind everyone where they can go and partake in your bits of wisdom, catch your show, all of that good stuff.
Yes. The best place to reach me is at Trent the Artist on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram. And my website, trenttheartist.com.
So make sure you hit Trent up if you're not already. Subscribe to his podcast.
Yes, I just added a free feed on my podcast, so you don't have to subscribe to it anymore. It wasn't that much. Anyway, you can subscribe on the free feed now, and it's just as fun as the subscription.
Okay. Forensic accountant also added, yes, they broke in and stole all the copper piping out of the house. Wait, who broke in?
You know what? That's a story. Forensic accountant.
And the wiring. Ask her.
We got DM us this information. This sounds good. Like we should.
Saying broke in.
We shouldn't even be.
Broke in. Wait, what? Did she lose her?
It sounds like Gunica sent her friends over there, and some stuff happened.
Just kidding. Well, VIPs, we are coming to the end of the road.
We're
like
just
Boys
having
to
fun.
Men.
Oh,
we're just getting started.
I know.
We always appreciate you for rocking with us, checking in, putting it down. Now, remember, it's another night to this.
It is.
So make sure that you are right back here, locked in at 9 p.m. Pacific time to rock out with Jill Munroe and RSVP with Jill Munroe and KBLA Talk.
I'm about to slide in the chat tomorrow to see if it's this lit.
I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because listen, we didn't even get to half the comments really that were going on. There was a lot of conversation happening, different aspects, different conversation. I remember when she owned that house in Arizona. A lot happening. I'm not sure about this story, though. But I appreciate you all. Tomorrow, we will, of course, have more trending topics and headlines. We will also have what to watch for the week. And I will have an interview for you. I'm not sure if the guest is coming in or if they will be calling or if it will be pre-recorded. That's how hectic things are right now. But somebody is showing up as a VIP for you tomorrow night. In the meantime, thank you as always for rocking with us. If you have a message, hit us up. Download the app.
And thanks for the follows on Instagram for the people that just came through.
And we appreciate that as
follow you
always.
back.
I'm Jill Munroe. I'm at Stiletto Jill. Say thank you to Andy for keeping the playlist lit all night long. We appreciate Andy every night. When we come forward, you will hear the best of KBLA. You are rocking out with RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Have an amazing night.
Have you heard about the new dance craze? Listen to us. I'm sure you'll be amazed. Big fun to be had by everyone. It's up to you.